the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea. I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me. The songs of Mother Goddess and of Father in the tree.
Here I am, talking away, and I forgot the mute button. So, hi all. Hope you're having a lovely day. Yes, I'm drinking water out of my Sunny Days cup. I don't want to do dishes. So, there. Yes, I was muted. I muted myself. Oh, I had a long day at the office today. Home alone. I don't have anybody keeping track of me, telling me what to do. I stayed up too late last night and worked all day, and yeah, just, yeah, long day. Uh, Titan is asking a question already, so let's get through the intro. So, this is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between, of course. Being broadcast live on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. And on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button since I have now turned the volume on. And subscribe if you have not yet. No matter how you are listening to me, make sure you stop in and say hello. And, if you can't do it in one of the chat rooms because of safety, that's okay. I get it. You can always send me an email at wildpaisley@gmail.com, WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, please do so. I love support. Thank you, Elaine. And it's Elaine's fault. I have a lovely bowl. And I have a pyramid too. I'll have to reach for it here in a bit. Excuse me. And so if you want to support the show, please do so. You can do that at etsy.com /shop/Monarch Mountain Studio. Or you can go to patreon.com /the spaces between. And if you want to just donate to my cause because you love me, which is absolutely cool, you can do that at www.paypal.me /PaisleyWild. So, yeah. Thank you, Elaine. It's a lovely bowl. I'll play it at top of the hour again, like I did last night. And go to ialife.com just ialife.com. The official sponsor for Truth Frequency Radio. Excellent product. Right now we need all the health help that we can get. Go to check it out. The phone line is open tonight, of course. So you can call 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK and want to give us a call, that's 44203-393-2871. So, yeah. And if you do call, and I don't answer right away, poke at me, because I'm not ignoring you. It's just, yeah. The struggle is real. That has been my phrase all day. The struggle is real. Because you know what? It has been real today. Yeah. I do have as many things closed as possible. So, and I'll probably close some more here as we go. Just because. So yeah, Cravings. Oh, real quick, hi to, let's see, Boy Solomon. It's a name I don't recognize, but hello. And then Cashew, Elaine, Gemini, Jessica, Lewis, Titan, YTFP, Chris, and Aether Archives. Mr. Don is in the house remotely because Titan and Don are both in Montana doing the Sasquatch thing and ghost hunting and stuff. So, cravings. And honestly, I had no idea what I was going to talk about until about an hour ago because that's how on the ball I am. I did not stay up all night, I promise. Part of the night. But before I get into cravings, Titan asked a question. Titan's question is, would you agree that we should search for quality over quantity in our search for enlightenment, but we need to be comfortable in our own skin to wait for quality to develop? Excellent question, Titan. So here's the thing. When we are questing for enlightenment and answers, because a lot of those answers are internal, only we really know what those answers are going to be or what is going to help us in our quest for, growth or enlightenment or whatever you want to call it, your spirituality. So it's an internal thing. Sometimes you have to go through quality to find or go through quantity to find the quality. Think of it as pulling weeds in a garden. Sometimes you have to pull a bunch of weeds out of your garden to find the flowers. I've an iris bed that I need to pull a bunch of grass and weeds out of so I can find all the iris so I can split them up and move them around because, wow, there's a bunch of them. Because it's a good question. And hey, Daryl. It's hard because a lot of the things that we are searching for or the information that we're searching for, the answers are often buried in a bunch of stuff. Think of it as someone's giving you a box of chocolates without really telling you what kind of chocolates there are. You know, just from because you know things, some of the chocolates have caramel fillings, some have nougat, some have coconut, some have cherry, some are just chocolate, that kind of thing. And you don't know which ones, and you have a favorite. I actually like caramel, personally. So, sometimes you have to kind of go through that whole box of chocolates to find the ones that you like the best. And it's not always obvious which ones are going to be the best ones because they're just all different shapes and sizes and dimensions, and you never know which chocolate is going to be the best one. So you're going to bite into a few that totally gross you out, that you may gag on, because that's kind of what happens. I personally don't like chocolate-covered cherries. But caramel? Caramel is awesome. So yeah. Actually, that's a great segue into the show topic tonight is cravings. And so here's the thing. Didn't know what I was going to talk about until, like about an hour ago. And I had a craving for chocolate because chocolate's my friend. And going through the cupboards, what's available for chocolate that's just chocolate. And sadly, it's chocolate rice cakes, which is like chocolate and not good. I don't know, chocolate and good for you. But it's really good. They're really good, and I love them. And they got that crunchy, snacky, they just hit all the buttons. And so here I am eating my rice cake, and it's like, well, so what am I talking about the show tonight? Well, I'm craving chocolate. Well, let's talk about cravings. Because sometimes the things that we crave are an excellent indicator of what we need in our life. And not just food and nutrients and such, but often on our spiritual path, because, how often do we sit in a room full of people and crave a personal connection? Or how often do you sit, you know, in the forest and crave an interaction with the wildlife, or go to the beach and wish you were home taking a nap instead, or anything like that. What is it that you're craving? Is it an experience? Is it knowledge? Is it food? So I wanted to talk about food first, because if you have a craving about food, often your body is not only trying to tell you something, but it's not being subtle. It's saying, hey, look, people, you need something in your system, and we're trying to trigger you to put the right nutrients into your body to help your immune system, to help your emotional well-being, your physical well-being, and your mental well-being. Because all of those things are really connected. You cannot have poor spiritual health and maintain good physical health or emotional health. Now think of it as a tripod. You have to have all of those things. They work together to support you and lift you up. And so just what is it that you're craving? So one of the first reasons that our body craves something is, well, you need energy. If you're craving food, it's because you've been doing something and you need more energy into your body to burn it. And calories are actually a unit of energy, or heat even. And so if you start dieting and you're losing body fat, your body will still want to maintain a balance, or the normal. So it'll send you signals, and you're saying, hey, you need to eat this or eat that. And if you're trying to change your diet for health reasons, or for spiritual reasons, or whatever, you need to, figure out what that means. And then also, when you're doing different things and you have these cravings, remember, sleep is something you really, really need. And you need to drink plenty of water. Water's good for you. So I've been trying to increase my water intake because I've got some stuff I want to flush out. So I'm just watching chat. Yeah, crave chocolate, coffee, chocolate Rice Krispie treats. Yeah. The beach. Here's one. Craving of love. Actual love that you can actually feel, both the physical and the spiritual. That kind of connection. And that's a good one, Aussie. It really, really is, because sometimes you connect with someone and physically you're just very attracted to them. And I'm not saying it's because they're beautiful people, but there's something about them that you feel highly attracted to, that you want to be around. But inside, they're a hot mess. Or you find someone who is just emotionally, mentally there, and you crave speaking with them, but physically they just don't push your buttons. It is hard to find, that person that hits all of those things. They're out there, though. They are out there. Honestly, I will do a show down the road where I talk about, your relationships and such. So, anyways, when getting back to the food part, if you do have cravings, if you're on a diet or something, stop and think about what you're eating, and choose foods that may replace those missing vitamins, minerals, those micronutrients, etc. And if you're being calorie deficient, as in you're trying to lose weight, make sure you are still nourishing your body with good food. Like today I had salad. What did I have? Salad, and for my dinner, salad and turkey and leftover pot roast. So yeah, it was good. and potatoes and carrots, yeah. But so if you are craving like fatty foods, for instance, like cheese, fried foods, or other high fat options. You may just need more essential fatty acids like fish, eggs, avocado, or a fish oil. Now, I have to tell you, not all fish oil is created equal. Yes, you can drink it if you really have to, but if you can get the caplets, that's best. And then freeze them. That way, when you swallow them, they're solid and they're into your system before they start melting completely. So you don't get the fish burps because, blech, that's disgusting. I understand. But so our liver is actually what processes all the fat that we consume. And in many different traditions, it's considered the seat of our inner power. So, and the solar plexus chakra is located in the same place as the liver. So it's connected to experiencing feelings of personal power versus personal disempowerment, like anxiety, bitterness, that kind of thing. So for those who are craving fatty foods, often are craving to exert their inner power, their inner self, but may have some issues with low self-esteem or self-worth. Let's see. I had more on that one. Where is it? So, but you may be suffering from, calcium deficiency or just a straight up fatty acid deficiency. So pay attention. It's not just the emotional and spiritual, but also the physical. And but on the emotional side, you may be feeling hurt. You may have had a loss. And remember, if you have had a loss, allow yourself to grieve, whatever it is, because you're emotionally processing that loss. Or you may just feel like crap, honestly, and that happens. It does. Just make sure that you're not overindulging in those fatty foods, like get the everything French fries or whatnots. So if you need peanut butter, which occasionally I get it, or other oils or fried foods, it's probably focus on that calcium. Side note, real quick, just because I have to say it, I'm not a doctor, don't play one on TV, have not stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. So these are suggestions and ideas and my thoughts and my opinions. And purely for entertainment purposes, I do recommend you talk to a doctor in nutrition before you change your diet. So there. Fine print is done. Because, yeah, I want to make sure I cover it all. So yeah, if you're having a calcium deficiency, you're going to crave saturated fats because the saturated fats are going to help maintain the calcium in your body to build the bone density. But also, if you don't have vitamin D in your system, it's hard for you to get your calcium processed within you anyways. And just remember, if you're craving those fatty foods, if you indulge in the wrong fatty foods, it's going to make you feel worse. I mean, how often have you had one too many, trying to think, donuts? What else is fried? I don't eat a lot of, fried potatoes. I guess I eat fried potatoes. So yeah, just be aware. Just, if you eat too many fatty foods that are not good for you, your body's going to just kind of say, you know what, we need to stop. We're going to take a nap. We're going to process this. And you're going to feel like you were just a bum and not getting anything done. So, but spiritually, if you're craving those fatty foods, you're still working on accepting your own importance, not just to yourself, but to the others around you. And you need to feel the full reality of your power because it's been squashed for some reason. And eating too much fatty foods is going to squash that even more. So maybe you have a wounded ego. Maybe there's, childhood trauma that you're dealing with because that is real. It is. It really, really is. So instead of having the chili cheese fries with everything, sadly, eat some kale. I know it's not the same. I get it. Or chia seeds, walnuts. Walnuts are good. Sesame seeds, legumes. Those are like your beans, your peas, that kind of thing. Your peanuts even are legumes. They're not nuts, by the way. Yep. And remember, accept your own authenticity. Seriously. Because you and are the best person to be you. I have a sign on my wall in my room that says, "Be yourself. Everyone else has been taken." And even if you are with someone or around someone that you spend a lot of time with, someone who's trying to force you to be something similar or redefine you into something that they want or what they feel you should be, remember that you need to be authentic to yourself first before you can be anything for anybody else. So be authentic to yourself. Eat your broccoli. Put some mustard on it because mustard helps. Unless you like broccoli, then hey, you're good. But remember to once you have accepted your own authenticity, it'll allow you to go against some of those cultural norms that we grow up with, because there are a lot of them. For me personally, Christianity was the cultural norm. Paganism was not. I'm happier being a pagan. And it's taken a lot to say that out loud, to live that out loud. And so, by understanding yourself better, it's possible to see just how beautiful you are, inside, outside, and the interactions you have with those around you, and see how much you have to give to the world. I mean, because there's a lot that each and every one of you have within you that you can give to others, that someone else is needing, that connection. And it's just empowering, and it feels just great to take control of your mental space and allow yourself to just breathe that power in to be the best you that you can be. Because nobody else can be you. And you can't be anybody else. You do you, literally. And if you need help, work on your third chakra, because that is the center of your self-esteem and your willpower. And it's important. So, deep cleansing breath. It's good. It's good, though. We all crave the fatty foods because, yes, the chili cheese fries with the fixins. Yeah, those are good. I kind of wanted pizza, honestly, for dinner, and that didn't happen. I had salad. Look at me be a good person. I try. So if you're craving chocolate, for instance, because chocolate is real, your body may just need more magnesium. So pay attention to that. Make sure when you start taking a supplement, whether it's magnesium or vitamin D or calcium or anything else, and Pharmacy Seeds, Carlton, if he was on, he would tell you this. Each one of those things that you might take as far as supplements are related and connected to other things. So if you are craving something, yes, you may need it. Like you may need magnesium, chromium, or any of the B complex or B vitamins and essential fats. Remember, you have to balance those out with other things to make sure that your body absorbs them correctly. Otherwise, you just have really expensive urine because your body can't process it. So dark chocolate is really, really good for you. Good night, Tyler. I hope you have a good day. You deep breath, and you got it. But yeah, chocolate cravings just... sometimes you just need chocolate. Sometimes you need sleep. Or cuddle time with your pet. Or, hanging out with someone you like. Or someone you love being around. So just take that deep cleansing breath. And, do you really need the chocolate? Or is some other part of your diet not getting what you need? And if you do just need the chocolate, stick to the pure chocolate. It's better for you. Less sugar, although I get it. Milk chocolate is the bomb. I don't know, real pure chocolate, dark chocolate, that's phenomenal. I actually put just straight up cocoa powder in my protein shakes. They're chocolate protein shakes, and I add more chocolate to them because chocolate's real. Hmm. Chocolate is legit. Jessica says she is craving fun this year. And you know what? That one is a real thing. I know everybody has been dealing with some sort of lockdown issue because of the coronavirus. And it's hard. It's hard to find the fun and the entertainment and things to do. Because if you're stuck at home, you're stuck at home. What are you going to do next? I mean, there's only so much you can do. Um, you hear, people are, you just, we're starting to reopen things. But even though we have this big, beautiful lake that everybody wants to play in, the weather's not cooperating. Tomorrow the high is 70. Mini Me has a birthday party she's supposed to go to. It's supposed to be a swim party um, on the beaches of Lake Ponderay. Yeah, that that shall be interesting. Swimming in long sleeves. We'll see you guys right after the break, all right? Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. We're talking about cravings, starting with food and some of the associated, stuff that might be with it. So, uh, because there's stuff. Stuff's a good word. So, do you crave sugar? Often we do. Some people can go a long time without sugar. They have cut it out of their lives entirely. For those of you who can do that, I'm totally impressed. Um, that's hard. I put sugar in my coffee. I like chocolate. I mean, two sugary things. And those are the basic sugars. That's not even talking about carbohydrates that often are processed into sugars within our own bodies. So, pay attention to it. So, sugar is not totally lacking in nutrients. It really does have some. So, but not a lot. And so if you're craving sugars or sweets, often your body is just asking for energy. You need to eat something that is going to provide your body energy, or you've got a bit of a food addiction to sweets and your body is saying, hey, you've been feeding us a Snickers bar every day for the last year and you stopped. What's going on? Because we're not happy and we need the Snickers bar and you're going to turn into Betty White or something. So be aware. Some of those old habits can come back and, you need to know what that might mean or what it looks like. So sugar itself, if you crave and you crave it and you give into it, it sucks you back in. The studies are showing that sugar itself is highly addicting, and too much of it is really bad for you. I'm not just talking about the diabetes because that's a whole nother health issue altogether. But yeah, just straight up sugar is bad for you, especially processed or a lot of the GMO type sugars. For some reason, it just changes the structure slightly. Hey, Suzanne, the chemical structure of the sugar molecules that it takes away. Whatever it is that in the natural sugars is not as bad for you. I say not as bad. I'm not saying it's great for you. So if you are craving the sugar, look for something that is sweet but provides other nutrients like fruit. Fruit's good. Yogurt's good. If you do a smoothie with frozen fruit and chocolate and that kind of thing, that's good with yogurt. And they're also showing some studies where, if you're craving sugar, you may also be slightly dehydrated. So sometimes you just need a drink of water. Or, get a cup of, fresh fruit juice. Because, yeah, that's yummy. Actually, I will occasionally just put frozen fruit in my water as I'm drinking it. And I use the frozen fruit kind of like an ice cube. And by the time I'm done drinking the water, the fruit has melted and I have yummy, yummy fruit. So, it's, you figure it out. There's ways to do it. And having that fruit in the water, so if you have to have some sort of flavoring in your water, that helps. It really does. Because if you can cut out soda in your life, that's a big deal. Even the diet soda is bad for you. Because, sweets are just kind of the proverbial Band-Aid. They might treat the symptom, but they're not treating any of the underlying issues, really. Because sometimes, we turn to sweets because we're having a hard time facing or experiencing and even accepting some of the tougher emotions, like anger. Anger is a hard one. A lot of us, and I'm including myself in this one because I had this issue, have a big problem with anger. And I'm not talking about necessarily the anger that others experience and that we're around and we see and observe, or sometimes the recipient of. No, I'm talking about the anger that we have. When I was a teenager, I was really angry. My childhood was quite different than most people's. Um, my father was one of those fringe people. He wanted to, or there's a lot of things in contemporary society that he just didn't like, and so we were on kind of on the fringe. And so a lot of those things that my friends got to do, I didn't, and so yeah, there was a lot of anger there, and because there was a lot of responsibilities that I ended up carrying that weren't mine to carry. So yeah, anger is real. Betrayal, bitterness, shame, grief, any of those feelings often demand some layer of superficial fixes, that basic band-aid to just get you through the moment. Um, and sometimes, yeah, we reach for the chocolate when we should be reaching for the therapist. And it's hard to accept that, sometimes, we need to see what else is out there. So yeah, the simple carbohydrates in sugar digest a lot faster than complex carbohydrates. So they give us that quick energy boost, that gives us that quick feeling of getting past this and moving on. Um, and yeah, candida is a big one that just craves sugar. So it'll punch your buttons saying, "Hey, we need more sugars." Sugar alcohol is a real thing. So be aware, because sometimes yes, we do need that immediate energy boost, but often those sugars are a short term thing. Think of it as an espresso. You drink that real quick shot of espresso. Yep, it'll help you for a little bit, but once it fades, you're gonna crash. And yes, chocolate is therapy, Jessica. You are so right. But chocolate specifically actually metabolizes similar to serotonin. So it's definitely, which is a mood boosting hormone, by the way. So sometimes, craving chocolate is directly related to having an emotional need. Maybe instead of a candy bar, you need a hug. Just saying. Because yeah, you may have that quick fix from the chocolate, but like any other addiction, you get the quick fix and then it goes away, and then you need more chocolate. And you know what? Don't be afraid of therapy if you're craving chocolate. Seriously. So yeah, if you're craving the sweets, and look for some other ways to deal with your emotions. You're going to be honest with them. They're yours. Own them. Deal with them. Process them. Accept them. Control them. Because if you just let those emotions run away and manage your life for you, man, you're always going to be on that emotional roller coaster. You're not going to get the things done that you want to get done. And so, you got to find some other way to deal. It may be mindfulness practices, meditation, behavioral therapy, which is real, and shadow work, that kind of thing. You need to have that self-acceptance. Hey, Marilena. And just accept those emotions that you're experiencing, because by golly, sometimes we just have to accept the emotions and deal with them, because that's the only way we're going to get through whatever it is we need to get through. And if you don't get through the emotions, you can't heal from the emotions. You can't move on from them. And they keep coming back. I think that's why so many youngsters in our society today are so angsty. They haven't allowed themselves to experience those emotions, because they're tweeting this and Facebooking that and social media here and there and everywhere else, and they're not actually, dealing with those emotions. They're just verbally vomiting them somewhere, and so they've got that angst and anger all built up. So yes, if you're craving sweets, you may be tired, you may lack energy, you may be dehydrated, your blood sugars may be imbalanced, because that is a real thing. If your blood sugar is getting too low, yeah, you may need that sugar to bring it back up. So if you're seeing that consistently, yeah, you probably should be talking to your doctor saying, "Hey, doc, I am craving sugar all the time. What's wrong with me?" And he may say, "Well, it's because you're fluffy and you should lose some weight and you're addicted to sugar." Or it may be that you just need some therapy, so be aware. You may have some magnesium or chromium deficiencies. And if that's the case, a simple blood test will tell you. Or you may be just needing some more fatty acids because those are good for you too. And yeah, dealing with emotions, that's sadness, that's a big one. Anger, yeah, instead of reaching for the chocolate candy bar, unless it's dark chocolate, fresh fruit, how about the strawberries dipped in dark chocolate? There you go. That's good. But water, drink plenty of water. Water rinses and flushes a lot of stuff out of us. You know, it's real. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Get a massage. Self care. Gotta tell you, one thing that I feel is the biggest takeaway from 2 months of lockdown with the coronavirus. Self care is real, and we don't do it enough. So, yeah, self care, it's real. Talk with your loved ones, your family, reconnect with some of them. You know, if you've got some emotional garbage that you need to work out with someone in your family because it happened 10 years ago and you guys just didn't agree, maybe it's time to set down the grudge and reconnect because, you know, if you have family still alive and, and living, it may be time to reconnect with them. Our world is getting interesting. Take a walk. Holy cow. Take a walk through the woods. A forest walk will reset you. Holy cow. It's awesome. Elaine says her husband's a therapist and that's why she's so messed up. Yeah, it's like the cobbler's kids have no shoes. The therapist family has some issues, yeah. And you know what? I'll eat or snack whether I'm in a good mood or a bad mood. But if I'm in a good mood, I'm probably more likely to take Mini-Me out for ice cream, for instance. Or if I'm just feeling really bubbly or really up for some reason. Yeah. But yeah, find some activities that make you feel good. Get a hobby. Hobbies are awesome. Have one. Enjoy it. Seriously. Wallow in your hobby and do what you need to do to really, yeah, gardening. A Gemini. Excellent hobby. Dirt. Dirt is good for you. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Gardening is very therapeutic and you're physically grounding yourself in the dirt around you. It leaches away a lot of that negativity. And yeah, gardening is good for you. Good habit. So yeah, instead of just, going for the junk food, try fruit, dried fruit. I love dried papaya. Nom nom nom. But your refined sweets will make the problem worse. It'll give you blood sugar roller coasters, which will lead to more cravings, which leads to more blood sugar roller coasters and then more cravings. So be aware of what you're eating and how it's impacting your mental health and your emotional health. And, yeah, take a bath, bubble bath. Yeah, go to the ocean. Oh, yes. Mary Bond, the ocean smells. Yeah. I get a little bit of it because I live so close to the lake and I have a river here, the smell of wet soil and cottonwoods and birch and pine and all of those yummy smells. Especially when, the warm, lazy summer afternoons, which today I think was the first one we've really had that was a summer afternoon. Oh, sigh. But yeah, get a hug. Get a hobby. Do something like that makes You feel good, your heart feel good, your brain feel good, because there is definitely a sweetness that can heal, and then the sweetness that is just a temporary bandage. Eat the stuff that's going to help you. The fresh fruit, dried fruit, any of that stuff is much, much better for you than, going out and buying a couple boxes of chocolates. But yeah, accept yourself. Be yourself. Whether it's with the therapy or the meditation or whatever, become in tune with yourself. Hi, Bomber. And accept who you are. That way you can heal and let some of that stuff go, and so you can be the best you that you can be. Salt cravings. I know that there are times when I crave something salty, because that's real. Oh yeah, chips, more chips, pretzels, anything like that. Often it could mean that you have some issues with electrolytes. You may be dehydrated. You may be just stressed. Or you may be drinking too much water and not getting enough electrolytes. So make sure you've got some electrolytes in your water. Pink Himalayan salt's good. B vitamin heavy foods like nuts, seeds, whole grains, fruit, vegetables. That's good. But remember, salt is a grounding element. It's very, very present in the earth. It's very, very present in the ocean, rain, and it's in our bodies. I mean, we have to have salt in our bodies. So salt actually balances and controls our blood pressure. If you didn't know that, you should. And other bodily fluids, as well as nerve and muscle function. So yeah, if you're craving salt, you may actually be craving control and stability. You may, or you may just be deficient in chloride or iodine. So, or both. Yes. Try to avoid the salts that is white and refined and has stuff added to it, because it's not the same. But sea salt has a lot more to it. Hey, Kathy. Yeah, pink Himalayan salt's really good for you. Let's see. Sorry, Kathy, for letting this one cut so close to the bone. I didn't intend to fillet you, my dear. But yeah, those cravings. I have them. Now, when I was pregnant with Mini-Me, I craved from the local restaurant, a local restaurant here by the name of Joel's. Fabulous family-owned Mexican restaurant. Oh my gosh, their food is phenomenal. They have jalapeno poppers. They're the best ever, and they put them in this with this jalapeno jelly type stuff that is, oh my gosh, awesome. Anyway, so I craved their black beans, their rice, and that jalapeno jelly stuff. That's what I craved. Those three things all together. Oh, yes. At least it was a low budget, or low cost for my budget for craving those things. But yeah, even now I crave them. That may have to be my lunch tomorrow. So yeah, just remember, if you're craving salt, it could be stress, because stress is real. Too much stress in our life leads to adrenal exhaustion. It can lead to dehydration. It may be, just sometimes we just crave salt when our stress levels are out of control. Especially if it's a long-term thing, because your adrenal glands will slowly start creating aldosterone, which is a hormone that helps retain sodium. So your adrenal glands are just kind of freaking out because your salt intake's all over the place. And if you don't have enough sodium in your body, your body can't absorb the right amount of water, and so you become dehydrated if you don't have enough salt. So yeah, salt is important. And if you may have an iodine deficiency, and if that's the case, you should probably be getting your thyroid looked at. Hey, Chris. Because your thyroid is often very, very tied to a chloride or iodine deficiency. So, yes, get that checked. Have them test the full panel of thyroid hormones, not just the T2 or T3. You want the full panel. Is it a little more expensive? Yes. Is it worth it to find out that you do have a thyroid disorder or don't? And you can adjust your diet appropriately because you have thyroid hormones in every single cell of your body. And it's this little bitty organ right here in your throat. And if it's not working right, your body feels it. So, if you're craving salt, you may just need some sea-based minerals like oysters or tuna or something like that. I had sushi for lunch yesterday. That was awesome. Awesome. But yeah, salt cravings can mean that you're trying to solidify yourself because you're overwhelmed. That stress is just wiping you out. And so you're trying to strengthen yourself. So look for some vitamin B rich foods, nuts, seeds, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, that kind of thing. Make sure you're getting enough water, and exercise, meditation, yoga. Those are all good things. Very, 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 very much. And remember, salt is grounding. And a lesson here is often we have a hard time trusting life, because often we become so insistent upon controlling our lives and our path and our destiny and that control thing. So we grip it and we're hard fast to it. And we have this plan that we're trying to follow. And if we don't follow it, we get just anxious and we struggle to try to force ourselves into this place. We need to remember to be fluid and accept those changes. And remember that change is going to happen. Marilena, if you're put off by salt or salty foods, I would still be checking your vitamin B to make sure you're getting that properly and you're hydrated. And so, but yeah, be realistic in your attitude towards life. You cannot truly control stuff all the time. Some things we do have choices that we can make, especially about our attitudes. So here's a lesson that we need to remember because it's a hard lesson. Is we do not have control over what other people think, say, feel, or do. We can influence them sometimes, but ultimately they are going to make their own decisions. So they're going to do this thing no matter what. And the only thing that we can control is how we react to what someone else is doing. And you can be proactive. And it's like, all right, so if person A does this thing, I'm going to do either this or this. Good, bad, or indifferent. So just pay attention. What's going on? But, once you accept that you can't control the people around you, you can only control yourself and your response to those people, it lifts the burden of control from you, and it allows you to breathe. It's easier to become grounded. It's more natural, because we have to just learn to trust and allow ourselves to be accepting of those things that happen. Seriously. And don't be so resistant to it. Because you know what? Change happens. Change is good. If change didn't happen, just think we'd still be, doing the hunter-gatherer thing. We wouldn't have moved on to the society that we have with all of its quirks and foibles. But yeah, instead of eating a whole bag of chips, if you're feeling something salty, have some salmon, some tuna, have some oatmeal, oatmeal raisin cookies with dark chocolate chips made with honey. So, pay attention. And then exercise. Exercise is good because it'll help expel negative stress. Think heavy bag. Have you ever punched a heavy bag? Do it with anger. And it's like, bang. And it's like, ooh, that felt good. Let's do it again. Bang. Ooh, that felt good. Let's do it again. And suddenly that energy is released. So meditation, mindful relaxation, really, really awesome. And yeah, we need to just be aware of that craving. That's all. And remember to just take a deep cleansing breath, because that'll help us as much, if not more, than anything else. So guess what? Top of the hour. It is 10 o'clock Pacific time already. Can you believe that? Poof. So we're going to go to break. And when we come back, because there's no bumper music, we'll do the singing bowl. We'll see you in a bit.
Lord within the sun, as we will, so mote it be, the spell forever done.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into these spaces between. Hello, hello. Let's see. Just checking. So yeah, you can still call. phone lines are open. But since there was no bumper music, yes, this is the singing bowl for those of you on YouTube. You can see it. It's kind of awesome. You got the basic mallet, and if you can see on the inside, it's got the Buddhas, I think, Shivas. I'm not entirely sure. It's kind of it's aged, so some of this is worn down. And hey, Nessie. Let's see. Let's see. So, I have to remember to take my rings off, or else they kind of. Yeah, he's kind of awesome. So here, boop, 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 boop. Oh, try to back up so you can see. There we go. Isn't that just an awesome sound? So yes, that is my singing bowl. Love it. I love the sound to it, and I have to tell you, it's the I actually got it at this store that I work at. Very esoteric, and I went through all of our bowls like 3 or 4 times. It took me about 2 weeks to finally pick one out, because I wanted to make sure I picked the right one, and I kept coming back to this one. It's not 100% metal. It's kind of a composite, and it's just, I don't know. I feel it right here in my chest, and I love it. Love it. Yeah, I bring in my ears too, Ken. It's kind of annoying. So the other thing I bought myself lately, if I don't, so those of you on YouTube can see, it's a pyramid, and the light is horrible, so I do apologize. And this is a purple opal, and I bought it because to me it's very reminiscent of a thunderstorm with lightning, flashing across the sky. And oh yeah, it's just awesome. Love the energy to it. But so purple opal is a Morado opal, and it's for the third eye. So once you've tapped into the energy of the purple opal, your third eye will become unlocked, and your psychic abilities will come to life, as well as an increase in one's mental capacity. And so if you're going to channel the energy, it's good to put quartz in your in your crown chakra, and then put the purple opal. Look at this lightning right there. Isn't that great? And it'll help open that third eye and that connection. And I gotta tell you, I could use some increase in mental capacity right now. I'm just saying. And if you're buffering, I'm sorry. I'm gonna blame it on the singing bowl. And I'm gonna close out some things. So there. So cravings. Oh, there's just a couple other here. So unusual cravings like ice, clay, chalk, or dirt. Often that means that you have a mineral deficiency, and if you're craving those things, make sure you're eating dark leafy greens, vegetables, nuts, seeds. Talk to your doctor, because some of those cravings are a little bizarre. If you're craving starches and carbs, often it means you're just low on energy. Especially if you're trying to diet, make sure you're eating enough energy type foods to offset the loss of the carbs and fat loading foods. So fiber rich carbohydrates like fruit apples, bananas, that kind of thing, root vegetables, and cruciferous vegetables, so the crunchy vegetables. Those are all good for you. So, let's see. Oh, yeah, good night, Marilena. Sleep well, or good morning. So I started with the show talking about food intentionally because we crave things all the time, whether it's food or that connection somewhere. And and the reason why I wanted to do this is when people approach me either via email or face to face in the store or on the phone or here on the show in the chat rooms, that kind of thing. Often there have been times when they're looking for something, they're craving something, they're craving a spiritual connection or a different something different, something outside of what they've always known. And a lot of that's because what we've experienced in the last, we'll call it 30 years, just because it's a good number. 3 is a good number. And things have changed a lot. The spiritual connectedness that we've had with our faith has changed. Now, a lot of people have been pagans or witches for a long time. Even I have been. I just didn't realize I was. It's one of those things like, oh, that's what that meant kind of moments. Yes, seriously. We're craving something. And a lot of people in our world today are tired of doing the same things, hoping for a different outcome. If you're trying to figure out what career you want, and so there's a lot of people out there going to college. A lot of people go to college, because for the longest time, at least here in the U.S., our society has been pro-college, which for many means pro-debt, because students going to college are often paying very high tuitions, and it's expensive to go to college. Even if you're in there getting the cheap rates at $100 per credit hour, if you're taking 16 credits, 16 times 100 is $1,600 for one semester. And that's not counting your books. So if you're taking 16 credits for 2 semesters, that's $3,200. Your cost of books could easily be another $1,000. So just for two semesters, you're not even eating. You haven't paid rent. You haven't even bought pencil and paper, and you're already out $4,500. And that's a local community college where the credits are cheap. That's seriously. A lot of the colleges are much, much more expensive. So be aware when you're going back. Chris Jarvis, if you're going to go back to college, commit to it and do it. Remember that you're committing to do it, though. It's really easy, especially once we have kids and family and stop going to college. We get out of the habit of learning. And we get out of the habit of growing ourselves that way. And it's hard to get back into it. And it's easy to say, well, I got to study tonight, but, the kids need to eat and they need a bath and you got to do this and that. And in a way, going to college, if that's what you choose to do, it's a form of self-care. You need to make sure you're prioritizing that appropriately because you're trying to better yourself. So, and I love archaeology. So, Chris, if that's what you want to do, commit, do it. Do a goal poster if that helps to get yourself on the road to going back to college. Because it's a tangible thing. But yeah, those textbooks, they are expensive. You can find some of them, you can rent some of them in PDF version. So you can use an e-reader like Kindle or I don't know what else is out there, Kindle. um, so if that's what you choose, then commit to it and do it. Yes, I wish that people understood that going to college means you're bettering yourself. It's not to figure out who you are. Because before you go to college, you should know who you are. You should know what you want to do. Don't go to college and sign up for 4 years to get a bachelor's degree in underwater basket weaving, for instance, because you don't know what to do with your life and that's what your friends are doing and your parents really want you to go to college. Figure out who you are first. Join the Peace Corps. Go to Job Corps. Get a trade. Mike Rowe has scholarships available if you want to go learn how to do a blue-collar job. Do an apprenticeship, learn some things about yourself. And something I recommend, especially here in the U.S., is if you just got out of high school and you don't know what you want to do 6 months of working as a temp. And tell them, it's like, hey, I want to be a temp. I don't want to commit to any one particular job. Send me wherever you want to go, but, keep my assignments to like 4 weeks or less or something like that. So whatever, parameters you figure out with the employment coach. And the reason for doing that is so that you can experience several different jobs. Because if you're okay working in a factory of some sort, making things like that, then there's no need to go to college. Seriously, I know someone who has a law degree. She passed the bar in California. She was a practicing attorney in California, and moved here to Idaho. She still has her license. She did not take the Idaho bar. So she's still paying for her attorney student loan debt. And she works in customer service now because she doesn't want to deal with a lot of the stuff and the baggage that goes along with being an attorney. Job shadowing for 3 months would have been a really good thing, or working as, a temp in a law firm as an assistant of some sort or receptionist. You really learn things about the different fields out there and what is available. So yeah, I'll recommend temp labor to pretty much everybody. If you don't know what you like, because a lot of kids don't, because all they've done is hang out with their friends and played video games, they didn't go out and get a part-time job or something like that. You need to figure out what it is you want to do when you grow up. I'm in my 40s and I still don't know. I'm just the coffee witch. I like it because coffee is life. So, it's self-care. It's real. Do it. But yeah, there's really a craving, I think, in our society today for a different way of doing things, a different way of connecting with each other, a different type of spirituality. People don't want to go to church on Sundays. There's other things they want to do. And I think our society has shifted to the point where a lot of people aren't going to go to church. There are some that, will attend or observe Christian holidays. There are some that will, catch the religious services in a podcast form or on YouTube, and it's hey Deb, how are you? You've been quiet. I totally lost my thought. Deb popped in. Where was I? I'm going to stop, take a drink, pause, deep cleansing breath, see if I can reset the brain. See, the purple opal. I need that brain enhancing stone. Yes. You know, open my mind so I can use more space. There's a lot of random factoids rattling around up there. Often doesn't leave enough room for anything else. But so, anyways, yeah, a lot of people will go catch radio programming because a lot of churches now have some sort of radio show available, or the service will be on like a thumb drive or a CD or something like that. Um, and it's you know oh, trying to figure out what I'm trying to say as I'm trying to say it, and it's just not working. So yeah, frustrating. That's what I get for not bringing coffee down with me. Because here in my world, it is 10:15 in the evening. I shouldn't be drinking coffee, but it's coffee. Nope, not getting on. Yeah, I totally lost my train of thought because of the coffee and the purple opal. Oh well. But yes, people are looking for different ways to find a spiritual connection because they don't want to have to go through a pastor or a priest or a rabbi or an imam. They want to have that personal relationship with the deities that they want to honor, and they don't want necessarily to worship anymore. Our society has shifted, and worship really isn't our gig anymore. Generally speaking, it's more honoring, and if we're going to honor, we should know who we're honoring. So whether it's our family or our spiritual guides, our deities, our ancestors, whomever it is, that's a close personal relationship, and people are craving that personal relationship, that personal interaction, that personal connectedness. And a lot of churches right now, at least here locally, some of them, the congregation numbers are decreasing for a lot of the more specific type churches, specific denominations. But the free Christian type churches or the New Age Christian type churches, their populations are on the rise. And how can you have a real spiritual connection with the leaders of your church if the congregation is 3,000 or 4,000 people? It's really hard to have that personal relationship, and so people are turning to circles and covens and groves and whatnots. We'll stick with coven now, just as a universal word, because they're smaller. They're groups of people. They're individuals, and often you're going to one person for that spiritual leadership because you're craving that spiritual leadership, that touchstone, if you will, to stop and say, hey, am I doing okay with my spirituality? What can I be doing different? And it's, in a way, I think that's awesome. It's great. But the religious, so Cashew says, religious gathering places also offer a sense of community. Yeah, they sure do. I remember the potlucks that we used to have as a Lutheran. When I was a kid, we were always having food get-togethers for whatever reason. After church, there's always cookies and coffee and juice and that kind of thing, or between Sunday school and church, or something like that. It varied depending where we were at. But yeah, there's always some sort of snack and drinks, but drinks weren't allowed in the church itself, and nowadays, if you go into a service, half the people are drinking out of Starbucks cups. It's that reverence isn't there for those gathering places. So, in a way, it's, I think, having a get together as a coven, it's more personal. The service or the ritual that you might do is often shorter. But it's got a bigger personal connection or emotional connection, a spiritual connection, and and then you have the fellowship and the get together, with the other coven mates and or their families. So um, that that sense of coming together in smaller nuclear groups, I think, is something that we as a society are definitely craving. That connectedness, because here we've got social media, and we're taking advantage of it this evening. Here doing the YouTube show and Truth Frequency Radio and such, iHeartRadio, because we're connected via online and doing social media. We're chatting and we're doing things, and oh, holy cow! I've got a phone call. And let's see. And they've been waiting patiently. So pause that thought. So, um, hello, caller from Twin Cities, Minnesota. How are you? Hello? Hello? Are you there? Area code 952, you're on the air. Hi. Hello? Oh, the phone hung up. Oh, if you're trying to connect and listen, you can call back and I won't. Let's see. Listener call-in line is 213-233-3998. Listen only. So if you're calling in to listen and you don't want to be on the phone, it's 641-793-7117. Hello, Naysay. How's it going? I hope the giggles are finding you well. Yes. Chaos. The chaos is real. So that connectedness that I think we are all craving, that spirituality I think that we are all craving and we need. It's hard because the congregation of several thousand, that's great, that you can see your pastor or your religious leader on the big screen, but where's that personal connection? Where is that tangible evidence of a connection? So I think we're craving that. So that's kind of why I started talking about the cravings to begin with, because not only do we crave food, but we crave physical connection, hugs, shaking hands. Right now, people are bumping elbows, tapping feet together, or whatever. It's very bizarre. People don't shake hands anymore. If you've seen Demolition Man, where they talk about, they don't want to, everybody's worried about physical touch, and instead of shaking hands or high fives, they're like, oh, high five or air high five, and they circle their hand, and it's amusing and cute and hilarious, and that's all I can think of. Taco Bell is winning the franchise wars, at least here, and we're moving towards that no fluid transfers. It's too many COVID cooties. Exactly, Elaine. So it's very bizarre. Bizarre. Um, I never thought, some of our TV shows that we watched that were sci-fi, sci-fantasy, total 100% fiction are turning out to be real. What the heck happened to that? Simpsons? What? So, anyways. Yeah, we're craving that physical connection, because we can't just go give our friends hugs right now, or the people we meet, or people who are grieving that might need a hug, or just sometimes you just need a hug, for crying out loud. Holding hands, shaking hands, pats on the back, the literal pats on the back. Humanity craves that physical, tangible contact, and to not have it is creating a vacuum. I mean, look at our kids that are currently dealing with the coronavirus and being, I was going to say expelled from school. They weren't really expelled, but they can't go to school. So it's, they're not having that playtime, that interaction time with other people their age. And it's frustrating because, how are they supposed to learn how to interact with others if they can't interact? I mean, how do you learn about personal space if you're not ever allowed to be around other people to learn what personal space really is? Not everybody has the same level of personal space, you know? Some people have more, some people have less. Some people demand 6 feet, some people demand 60. Some don't demand any. So they crowd your space. So on that note, we're going to go to break here. Our last break of the evening on this Saturday evening here in the Pacific Northwest. And yeah, what do you guys crave? Drop it in the show notes or in the comments. So we'll see you in a few.
Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, sing it unto me. The songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between. And I am trying to type and talk at the same time, and I can't. So there. Mostly chocolate chip cookies, nom nom nom. Oreos and coffee. Yes. Just moment of silence for the potential chocolate. I'm kidding. I'll probably have another chocolate flavored rice cake and then go to sleep here in a bit because my wild and crazy life home alone this weekend. And even mini me is off visiting. I was gonna bring her home. I went to go pick her up, and she's like, "No, Mom, I want to stay here one more night." She's 5, not 15, but she's still telling me, "Nope, I'm gonna stay one more night." She's very much in control of her life. Oh my stars! So yeah, cravings. That's what we're talking about. We've got about 20 more minutes, 25 minutes to talk about cravings, and what we need. You know, for so long we've been taught, especially with Christianity, and that's what I'm familiar with. So that's the one I talk about the most as far as things. Yeah, it's we're taught that there's this higher power out there, and we have to go through the pastor to really connect with them, and we've forgotten, I think, in a big way that the deities are all around us. They really are. But what? There's a lot of us. So if you stop and think about it, there's as many people that that there are. The deities only have so much time. They only have so much energy, so much. They are kind of limited in their ability to be omnipresent and omniscient all the time because everybody blinks. And so what's that mean? For me, I would just talk to my ancestors, my own spirit guides, because those are mine. They're the ones who have the vested interest in me. So I don't really worship anyone. I honor those. I honor my ancestors. I honor my deities. And to me, that is so much more respectful than worship. Worship to me means I've given someone else control and of my spirituality. And man, I don't want someone else to be, in control of my spirituality. I want to be in control. There's that control freak in me coming out. But it's real, there's no reason why I should have to be told what my spirituality can and cannot be. Or who I can and cannot be. It's something else. A lot of the contemporary, religious leaders are trying to define who we can and cannot love and be with, our family dynamics and that kind of thing, and that's not okay. So I think that's another reason why people are kind of trending away from a lot of the Abrahamic faiths specifically and moving towards a more pagan mindset. And it's not because we're a bunch of hippy dippies and, free love everywhere, because that's not what we are. At least not all of us. Some of us. it's, yeah, not all of us. It's we're trying to find that connection. We're trying to find that spiritual connection. So yes, I really truly think that people are trending away from the Abrahamic faiths because they're seeking that connection, that relationship, that personal relationship and acceptance. Accept us as we are. You know, like I said earlier, the quote that I have hanging on my wall is "Be yourself. Everybody else is taken." And we're seeking for acceptance of self. Just accept me as I am. Don't try to fix me. Don't try to change me. Just, I am me. Let me be me. You do you. Let me be me. And it is hard to do that sometimes because you, like, especially with our children or our family, it's like, if you just made this choice instead of this choice, your life would be so much easier. Well, sometimes they have to make that choice so they can live through that hard lesson and learn some things, because it's a hard lesson. And if they don't learn those things, then man, life is going to be harder for them. And it's hard with our kids because, we want the best for them, right? Generally speaking, we want our kids to have a better life than we had. I know I do. And so we sacrifice self. We sacrifice the things we want, the things we need, the relationships and interactions to make sure that our kids and our families are taken care of. And they don't always see that. They just see it through the lens of their own needs and thoughts. And man, it's frustrating. Speaking from experience here, because they're not seeing why we made those choices. And they don't want to see it. They just see how they were denied a thing or an experience or whatever. And yeah, it's vexing. So not only do we need to accept our family as they are, our family needs to accept us as we are. So that means I'm pagan. And if I tell my friends and family that I'm pagan, I really need them to just accept me as I am and not tell me that I'm going to hell, because I'm not. At least not your definition of hell. I may talk to the goddess hell, but that's something else entirely. And, or the no, not suffer a witch to live. Man, that's a horrible quote. For something so tiny and minuscule in the Bible, it sure gets a lot of airspace. Blech. It's frustrating and foolish. There are other things that are more important, that have more value. Out of all the words in the Bible, that's the one that sticks in your brain. Oy. Oy. So, I think we're craving that acceptance. We really are. But in order to be accepted, we also have to accept those around us. And I think we're craving magic in a way, in a big way, because we are really... I got distracted by Gemini's question. Gemini, that's a complicated question. Paisley is the name that I chose. And it's partly because I love Paisley. So, there. And Chris Jarvis found some Oreos and he's not sharing. There's something wrong with that. I'm just saying. A lot. Oreos. So, but no, I think magic is something that we're craving also. The definition of magic is just science that hasn't been explained, right? So we're looking for we're we're looking for the magic in every day. You know, we see science, we see this is explained and that's explained, and this is dissected and that's dissected. And a lot of the mystery and myth that we grew up with, or that our parents grew up with, um, has been explained away, and it's taken away the magic of the moment and the magic of the unknown. Um, and you know, it's it's frustrating that society, especially, it tells us that magic doesn't exist, and that we shouldn't believe in it. Well, in a way, it's Chris, you're funny. It the danger, I think, is that we're not allowing our children to experience magic, or to see it, or to live it, to breathe it. They're so wrapped up in the video games, or the online this or online that, that the magic of childhood and pretend and make believe has been reduced. And so now those that grew up with that stuff being limited, you know, you're watching cartoons instead of going outside and playing and creating in your brain. Um, you know, as an adult, suddenly you're like, no, by golly, magic exists. What happened to it? It was there when I was younger. Where is it now? And so people are becoming more open to magic because they're craving it, and they need it. We need it. We need magic. We need the belief in magic, because it explains um, it, it explains so much that we don't understand. You know. So just real quick, as I'm going in there. So Gemini and Jessica, Cha Cha is doing just fine. I saw her on a video conference or video call that I had with Dawn and Brent earlier. So they were sitting around a little campfire and they were getting ready to go to a haunted house. So yeah, bacon bikini. I don't know. So yeah, we crave magic. We crave that the belief in magic. The belief that the unknown is unexplained, that the possibilities are endless, that we can do anything we want, and by golly, you know, we can do what we want to do, what we need to do, and it's frustrating that our society keeps telling us the things that we can't do. You know, we can't go out and play. We can't touch each other. We can't shake hands. We can't interact with one another. We have to social distance. I have to tell you, social distancing is becoming a bad word in my mind. Deep cleansing breath. Because social distancing is reducing our ability to interact socially and share those energies with one another, and because we need it, we crave it, we crave that connection. Yeah, we just crave it. So cravings, yeah, cravings. We crave that connection as much as we crave chocolate and coffee. I feel that chocolate, coffee, and magic all go in the same need box, if you will. And I'm looking at the dog because I may have to throw something at him because I think he forgot that the door is open so he can go outside to go pee. Dogs. I love them. I love my dog. Paisley, Oreos. Let's see. Yes, we crave Oreos. We crave lots of Oreos. Chocolate dipped Oreos. Yes, chocolate dipped Oreos. Mint Oreos. Oh my gosh, there's so many different kinds of Oreos now. Yes. Oreos. But no, I think we crave that connection, just like we crave food and the different things, the different, water, salt, fats, etc. Man, we crave magic. We crave a belief in something unexplained. And if that means we're learning about the deities from yesteryear, from our ancestors, then by golly, that's what we're going to do. We need to do the research, though, so we know what we're getting into. Journal your experiences because, by golly, it is a learning experience. Um, and as you move through your spiritual adventure, becoming a pagan or being a witch, man, there are just the things that you experience are profound. Like the singing bowl, listening to it, just feeling it in the chest is just wow, awesome, very very awesome. Mm. And yes, I should do an ASMR video to the singing bowl. I know, it's on the to-do list. It's there, I promise, Lois. Um, but it's I'm not sure where it's at, but it's there. Um, yes, sugar. Sugar is not as good for you as children wish it was, and sometimes you need to find an alternative sweetener, and an alternative real sweetener. Um, so I like honey in my coffee. Um, Maple syrup in my coffee is not quite as exciting for me. It's okay, it's good, but honey, I prefer honey in my coffee. Um, Occasionally, I will do that bulletproof coffee and honey and coconut oil and a little bit of pumpkin pie spice. Yes, that's the best coffee ever. You don't need sugar. It's just yummy. Perfect, just like that. Um, so, as you're going through your journey, because I really feel that we are on an adventure. It's a spiritual adventure. It's an energetic adventure. It's a lifestyle adventure. As we learn who we are and what we're doing, and what we need to do, journal it. Because, it's you're going to want to go back and look at what you've experienced and what you're doing, and sometimes it'll make more sense. It's like, oh, that's why I was doing that. That makes total sense now, and you get it because the lesson you were experiencing you weren't ready for, because that's kind of the way life works, and you can look back and you're like, oh, that's what it was. So, and with paganism and witchcraft, I think the reason why we're moving that direction is there's hope within it, and you are learning how to have power within yourself, and often because paganism and witchcraft accepts people just as they are, for the love of little green apples, seriously, people feel kind of relaxed becoming a pagan or a witch, because it doesn't matter what gender you are, who you spend time with in the bedroom. It is just accepting of you for you. And the thing that, so for me, I just want you to be the best you that you can be. Whatever journey it is that you're going to be on and the things that you need to accomplish, be the best you that you can be. There's nobody else can be you. And it's a creative experience, learning who you are, creating an altar, especially your first altar. It's, or learning about tarot, or I've got tarot cards, wands, crystals. I've got all these things, singing bowls, all of them within reach. I can pick them all up. Learn about them because they're stimulating to yourself and your mind and your heart and your soul. I mean, if you have the opportunity to do a singing bowl workshop of any kind, do it. Your reality will shift. Oh my. And it's just here. And a lot of people are moving towards the more natural lifestyle and going back to a lot of the herbs and such from, pre-Western medicine because those things are good for you still. They didn't change. They didn't stop being good for you. We just started relying on pharmaceuticals. And a lot of them we don't need. Or not like, Western medicine says we do. So, yeah, it just, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, put it out there. Yeah. And you put your intention out there. I want to talk about crystal grids, so I'll talk about intentions with crystal grids here down the road. But yeah, the apothecaries are coming back. People are creating their own medicines at home. They're growing their old medicines, their own herbal supplements, and learning about them. I mean, for those of you who didn't know, cinnamon is excellent at helping you maintain your blood sugar levels. Not reduce them or increase them, maintain them. So if your blood sugar levels are good, add some cinnamon to your diet. And if you don't like it, you can get it in a capsule. We need to go back to that way. We need to walk away from the pharmaceuticals with a PH. Pharmacy Seeds is now in the chat room. And embrace the pharmaceuticals starting with an F. Pharmacy. Pharmacy. Because those are good for us. Herbal medicine is good for us. Don't be afraid of the holistic approach. I think holistic is really, really important. But, and I'm not saying, you need to go out and hex people or do spells or this or anything like that. But, look at what you have in your herb garden or your kitchen pantry, your kitchen cupboard, your spices. Look at your spices. Google some of the things you can do with them. Yeah. Cinnamon? Yeah, that's a good one. It really is. Because it is so much better to prevent an illness with your diet, just by changing your diet, than it is to have to take yet another pill. Speaking as someone who knows, taking yet another pill is highly annoying. I have to have another injection on Tuesday. It'll be gloriously awesome. And I've requested, an appointment with my primary care doctor because you know what? I don't want any more injections if I don't have to. I want to do something else, for crying out loud. I don't want to just put a big old Band-Aid of chocolate over my symptoms. I want to find out the root cause and what can we do to manage it. So, because I have fibromyalgia and all that stuff. So, anyways, yeah. Understand your intentions because those are good. Write them down. What do you want to accomplish? So, just in summary, as you're journaling, write down what you're craving. What is it that you crave? Is it your physical connection? Is it spiritual connection? Is it mental connection? Are you, do you crave more interaction with your family? Do you crave a better job? Do you crave, salty foods, fatty foods, et cetera, et cetera? What is it that you are craving? And, set your intention on satisfying that craving. And whether it's changing your diet, because it's important to make sure you're eating a good diet. And approach food as medicine. Yeah, that's a big one. If you're really big into the vegetable oil, do a quick search and find out how much of your vegetable oil is actually from vegetables and how much of it is so processed. Like, I can't eat a lot of the vegetable oils because it can say contains rapeseed oil, and I am allergic to rapeseed. So, yeah, random stuff that you don't learn about until something happens. So, be true to yourself. Accept yourself. Love yourself. Be who you need to be. You are the only one who can be you. Everybody else is taken. So be the best you that you can be. Accept yourself 100%. It doesn't matter what it is, your anger, your happiness, your joy, your sadness, any of that. Accept yourself. Once you can accept yourself, it makes it a lot easier to accept others. And I'm just saying, 100% in a big way. So, yeah. Deep cleansing breath, journal everything. And we'll see you next weekend, you guys. So thanks for joining me this weekend. This is Paisley Wild. We've been off adventuring into the spaces between. So merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. I hope you guys have a great day.
Lord within the sun, as we will, so mote it be, the spell forever done.